Hi everybody, my name is Ryan and I am the Laser Noob. So today we are going to do a real quick tutorial on how to get you started burning some basswood. So we're going to be working in LightBurn today. LightBurn can seem a little bit overwhelming when you first start with it. It's real simple to get going. I'm going to show you guys a few tips and tricks on how to get that set up and working with your laser. Today, as always, I'm working with the xTool D1 10 watt because it's the only laser I have. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little basswood project. We're going to take 2 pieces of basswood, nice thin basswood that I got off of Amazon. And we're going to paint one red, we're going to paint the other green, and after we cut them out, you're going to get a couple of little Christmas ornaments, just like that you can glue together and make a little mandala Christmas ornament, hang it from your tree. Or if you are feeling really rambunctious and want to do some cleanup afterwards, get the basswood set out, get the kids set at the table, and give them some paint and some brushes and just let them go to town, have some fun, just painting a piece of wood, whatever color they want. And then when you cut it out, each one of those designs is going to be extremely distinctive. It's fun for the kids, it's fun for you, except when you go do cleanup and stuff, yeah. So anyway, with that, let's get our 2 pieces of basswood painted, and then we're going to move into LightBurn, and I'm going to show you guys a few tips and tricks to get you going on that real quick, and you'll be burning like a pro in no time. Let's get started. Okay, so here we go. We have got both of our pieces of basswood painted, one red, one green. We're ready to burn them, but we got to get our image in here and get set. So you'll notice that, and I don't know why, but every now and then when I open up LightBurn, my work area is way down here and it's not centered on the screen. So instead of trying to find a scroll bar or zooming in and zooming out, I'm going to show you guys a real quick way to get your workspace centered. So from here, if it's not centered, you can just left click on it, make sure you're on the workspace, hold down your space bar, and you're going to notice that the pointer, your cursor, turns into a little fist. Now holding the space bar and then left click and holding your mouse button, you can drag that wherever you want and put it, and then you can go to the center and zoom it in, zoom it out. So nice, quick, easy way to recenter it. If you've worked with Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, it's the exact same thing there. So now we've got our workspace centered. What we need to do is we need to get our first thing that we're going to burn in here, which is going to be one of the Christmas ornaments. It's just a little Christmas ball. So we're going to go, first of all, before we even open that up, want to show you guys one thing that you need to change. Everything I do on here is going to be in millimeters a second. So if you go up here to the general LightBurn settings, the one with the little cog, you're going to click on that and go down to units and grids. And even though it says better for CO2 and you might be using a diode laser, just click on the millimeters a second and hit OK. It's not going to change anything. It's just how we're doing, you know, our speeds and powers. Instead of millimeters a minute, it's millimeters a second, and it doesn't affect whatever the power is. So now we've got that set. Go up to the top left corner and you're going to see a little file folder right here, and we're going to click that, and I'm going to go into the Christmas balls and PNG, and you'll notice that I got some stuff in here. It's not exactly what I want. So one of the things that you have going on here is down here, you have where it says LightBurn files. What you want to do is you're going to click on that, left click, and go to all supported. And that brings up a whole bunch of stuff. So what we want to do is, now I bought this pack off of Etsy. And it was maybe a couple of bucks, if that. So I'm going to select Christmas ball layer 2, and I'm going to import that. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to left click and drag. So I'm going to go above and beyond the size of the Christmas ornament and let go. I'm going to come in, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go trace image. And if you can see it, you'll see this little purple line that goes around the outside of that, and you're just going to hit OK. So now, instead of it doing a burn, now it is a cut. Okay. If you notice the difference, if you hit Control Z and go back, that's undo, and it goes back to the image the way it was before. And if you look up here under cuts and layers, it says image. So if it's an image, what it's going to try and do is it's going to try and burn that image. It's not going to cut anything out. So you're going to get a black burned Christmas ornament on your basswood or brown. So when we do that and we go to trace image and hit OK, it now turns that to a line. So now it's going to cut, and you'll notice that it changed it to 8 millimeters a second at 100% power. So we have a piece of basswood that is approximately 300 millimeters square. So 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters. We should be able to fit 12 Christmas ornaments on one 300 by 300 millimeter piece of basswood. So what we want to do is we're going to take this. It's already highlighted. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to leave this little lock where it is. You can unlock it or lock it. So that lock, if you change one of these dimensions, it's only going to change that dimension. So if I go to 75 millimeters and tab, you can see what it's done. So if you do that, don't worry, just hit Control Z, that is undo, and it brings it back to the original one. So we're going to lock it. Now, when I change one number, it's going to keep the same aspect ratio. So it's going to change the other number to stay the same in sync with the first number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my large number, which is my height, and I'm going to change that to 86.593 and tab. Now you notice the width changed as well. And now you still have a normal looking Christmas ornament. So we're going to fit 12 on here. We're going to take that and we're going to move it up to the top left corner, not all the way to the edges. We're going to come a little bit off the edges. We're going to get close, but a little bit off. We're going to hit Control C for copy and Control V for paste. Now we're going to take that ornament and we're going to move it over here. Now we've got two. We're going to left click, hold, and drag. Control C for copy, Control V for paste. And now we're going to drag those two over. Now we've got four. We're going to do 3 rows of 4. So now we're going to click, left click, hold, and drag. Control C copy, Control V paste. We're going to take those ones and bring those down. And Control V paste. And click and drag. And now you've got all 12 of what you want to cut out. So we want to make sure that we're under our 300 by 300. So what we're going to do is we're going to just left click somewhere, get it off there, and left click, hold, and drag. And then we're going to come up here and look at our width and our height. Our width is 292, almost 293, and our height is 267 millimeters. So we're definitely under the 300 by 300 threshold, which is great. So now we're going to come over here and we're already online. We've got that figured out, and we're going to double click our speed and power. If it's painted, you've already painted it, you're going to want that speed at about 4 or 5 millimeters a second at 100% power. And you definitely are going to want your air assist on. So with that, that's all we're going to do there is change that speed because it's already painted. And we're going to hit OK. And now we can take that first piece of wood and we can go ahead and burn the back. And we'll get on that and show you, and then we'll come back and we'll do the next portion. Okay, real quick, one thing I forgot to mention to you guys before we get this one started is we want to come over here to the right side of the screen, and you get your basswood set in there, and we're going to start, our job origin is going to be in the top left. All right. And we want to start from current position. So once you turn your laser on and everything's all set, you get it to where you want it. You want to make sure that this says current position right here, not origin or absolute coordinates, current position, and make sure that that dot right here for job origin is in the top left. So when we go to frame this, you'll see, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys have that. It's very important. If you have it in the top left and you're saying that the job origin is in the center, it is going to throw that whole shebang out of whack. So make sure your current position and top left, and now we'll move over to the laser. We'll get it framed and get it burnt. Okay, so we've got the back portion is already cut, and we've got that pulled off the laser. Now we're going to do our second part of our little mandala, and we're going to come back in here. We're going to, you can left click and drag over the Christmas balls. Make sure that you have them saved as a file somewhere so you don't have to duplicate the whole 12 again. So you can left click, drag, and then just hit delete. And once you've got a clear workspace again, we're going to come up here to our file. We're going to click open, and we're going to go to all supported. We're going to go into here, back into our PNG, and we're going to do this one right here. So I've already made a couple of adjustments, and I'm not going to walk you guys through the exact same thing we just did. So I'm going to hit, I'm going to back out of that one. I'm going to go back to all supported and back out one more time. And this should be the one that I want. That is the one that I want, but not really the one that I want. So we'll highlight that and hit delete. Go back to open. All supported. And that one right there. So now again, we've got our, hold our space bar, get us centered. So now this is going to be the front of the mandala. All right. So again, we've got our 12, and you just want to make sure that your numbers are the same as they were in the first one. So this one is a little bit off, but it's from a different project. So just once you've done your first ball, you get your first ball imported, change your height, make sure that it's locked here. The first one was at 86.593. So change your height on that to 86.593 with the lock on. Copy and paste it. Copy and paste those 2. Then copy and paste those 4 and paste the 4. Get your 12 and you're all set. Now we're going to go ahead. It's the same thing. Current position, top left corner. We're cutting at 8 millimeters a second, 100% power. Number of passes is 2 because it's painted. And we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to move over to the laser. We're going to frame this. We're going to go ahead and burn this. And then we're going to show you the end result. hopefully that you guys get the same thing that I got. This is nice and easy. And if you have any questions, make sure you post them down in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. I'm new to YouTube. You guys know the drill. Okay, one thing you guys might notice when you cut some stuff out with the laser, every now and then stuff doesn't always fall out real easy. So what I like to do is I do a lot of vinyl work with vinyl signs and stuff, and this is what's called a weeder. You can get them on Amazon. They're extremely cheap. They are pretty sharp though, so just be careful with it. So when you come across this stuff, you can use an X-Acto knife. I'm not a big fan of the X-Acto knives. They slip and cut people, so especially when you're working with kids. So what I like to do is I'll take this and I'll go from the back side, and I will just take the weeder and I will just gently poke until that little guy pops out. And there he is. And of course the snake little piece fell out without me having to do anything finally. So yeah, this comes in real handy for these little small pieces. It's very pointy, very sharp, and it gets in those little tiny grooves. So if you get a chance, go ahead and pick one of these guys up. Like I said, very inexpensive on Amazon. So, all right. Okay, so there you guys go. Nice and easy. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you post them down below in the comments. Like I asked earlier, please like and subscribe. I'm new to this whole YouTube thingy, mabobber, whatever you want to call it. It's for the young folks. Anyway, so have some fun with the kids, have some fun with the grandkids, selling it at a farmer's market or a craft fair, whatever you want to do. But I hope that you actually learned a little bit about LightBurn, how to get started, a couple of quick tips. Any questions about that, post them down below and I'll answer them as soon as I can. You guys have a great day.